Hi, and today I'd like to welcome Kelly Pearson. She is our Yoga for Everybody instructor. Welcome, Kelly.
Thanks, Beth.
Kelly, I'm going to ask you a few questions about you and your Yoga for Everybody class. So I'd like to start with what your background is with yoga.
Sure. I did my yoga teacher training when I lived in Texas. And I did even prior to that, I did a yoga therapy training in Vermont. And that was probably around 2010 or 2011. And I actually came to the practice or offering the practice as a way to help people just develop a stronger body-mind connection.
I love that. I love the whole body-mind connection. It's a very incredible thing. And it does make us stronger as human beings.
Absolutely.
Today, would you please explain, if someone were to join our class today, what Yoga for Everybody would be like?
Sure. So Yoga for Everybody is intended to be a class that most people can do, regardless of your level of fitness. What I like about this class is that it's chair-based, but we always have an opportunity to stand. So in this Yoga for Everybody class, once in a while, you'll see some people will bring mats, and that's an option as well. I'll always make modifications, but for the most part, everybody is seated in a chair for the duration of the warm-ups and the some of the stretches and some of the more active poses, but then we have an opportunity to come to standing. And so I would say about 15 minutes of the 1 hour class has the option to stand, but never an expectation to stand. Okay. So if you want to challenge your balance, start building a little bit of core strength or strength in your hips or your legs, it can be a good opportunity for that.
Awesome. So that answers a lot of questions. You'll be sitting. You don't have to get on the floor if you don't want to. And you're going to modify the class if you see that people, are having difficulty doing things. What about clothing? What do we wear on our feet? Should we bring water?
Sure. So definitely yes to water. I always think water is a great thing to have in a yoga class because we're doing a lot of intentional breathing. And so with those deeper breaths, sometimes people start to feel a little drier in the throat. Okay. But also just in any movement practice, having water available is a great idea. Okay. As for what to wear on your feet, a lot of people will keep shoes on the entire class. Okay. If you prefer to not wear your shoes, that's also an option. If you think that you're going to come up to a standing pose, if you don't have shoes on, I encourage you to use the little socks with the nubs on the bottom. Sometimes you get them as like slipper socks or things like that. And that just is to help improve your grip and stability. As for clothes, because we're seated up in a chair, I would say any kind of comfortable clothing, anything that feels easy to move would be appropriate.
Okay. If today were my very first class and I'm walking in and I've never done yoga before, but I want to give your class a try, is there any special instruction or anything you would want me to know before I walk into your class?
I think most importantly, this or any yoga class really, is to always listen to your body first. I might be giving encouragement to try something or to move in a certain way, but that doesn't mean that it's the right choice for your body. And if your body needs to do something differently, listen to that. It's really important as we're listening to our body in our yoga practice and developing that stronger body-mind connection that we're actually heeding what we're learning about ourselves. So pay attention, listen, and listen to yourself as much as you're paying attention to the words that I'm using.
So if something is uncomfortable or causing you pain, you would say to someone, stop. Don't do that.
Absolutely. I think there's, so pain for sure. There shouldn't be pain when you're doing yoga. The discomfort is a little trickier to define. And I think that's because, you know, sometimes when we're challenging ourselves, it can feel uncomfortable. So just because something's uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but we really need to pay attention to what the discomfort is. If it's something that feels unsafe, then absolutely stop. If it just feels like something curious that should be explored, pay attention to it.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for joining me today and explaining what your class is like. Kelly's Yoga for Everybody class happens every Wednesday at 11:15. It is an hour long, so it's 11:15 to 12:15. Please come by and give class a try. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Beth.
Today I have Leslie Romano with me, and we are going to discuss Leslie Romano's Mindful Movement class. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you, Beth.
I like to open with my first question for you, which is, can you tell us a little bit about your background in fitness and senior exercise?
Yes, thank you. I'll make it very short and succinct. I've been teaching fitness for over 40 years. I started with dance aerobics in 1980. And since then, I've been certified not just in dance aerobics, but in group fitness, senior fitness, aqua aerobics, kickboxing, bar, personal training, mom and me, and team fitness. During the past 40 years, I became a master instructor, which means that I train other instructors to become instructors. I also had an international dance aerobics team that were endorsed with clothing and shoes, and we traveled all around the South Shore and gave demonstrations in dance aerobics. During that time, we also were asked to be the openers for Richard Simmons at the very first Fitness Expo at the Heinz Auditorium. And since then, I've been teaching all over the place, all different types of classes, and now I'm here at the Cal teaching mindful movement.
And we love having you. And I have gotten the most amazing feedback actually from this class. So my next question for you is, if you were to describe this class to the viewers sitting in their home on their couch, very comfortable, how would you describe mindful movement to the community?
This class was originated prior to COVID, when the manager of a fitness facility that I was working for asked me to devise a class that would help people with poor posture. Over the course of teaching this class over the 3 or 4 years, it has evolved into more than just a posture class. Mindful movement can be done by anyone. You do not have to be a fitness expert. It is especially important for people who have problems with joints or muscles that are tight, or people that just don't stretch and realize that they can't move well because their whole body is tight from just sitting or not doing anything at all.
Okay.
This class, Mindful Movement, incorporates balance, flexibility, stretching, posture, and tons of hidden core work. It is a very fluid class. It's very slow. It combines elements of Tai Chi, bar, and Pilates throughout the entire class. So we are constantly moving in a very slow and fluid manner to stretch not just the muscles of the body, but also the ligaments and connective tissues. It's great for any age group and in anybody's condition.
How long is class? 45 minutes or an hour?
Class is 45 minutes. We start with 5 minutes of a cardio warm-up. So
Okay.
we're moving around a little bit faster than we do in the major portion of the class. And we end just stretching right to the very, very end. At the end of 45 minutes, we're still stretching.
How are people seated, standing, and how can the class be adapted for those maybe who aren't as flexible and haven't been exercising regularly?
That's a good question. All of the movements can be done from a seated position.
Okay.
We can modify anything for people who are unable to do forward leans or hinges or long stretches.
Okay.
I try and teach people how to stretch effectively, which means that most stretching is done too quickly.
Okay.
And it is done in a very static or non-static method, which means they're moving too fast while they're doing the stretch.
Okay.
There are two things that people have to keep in mind when they're stretching, whether they're standing or seated, and that is to stretch very slowly and to relax and breathe. Most people start to stretch, they're not relaxed. They do it too quickly. As I mentioned before, they're bobbing or bouncing through their stretch.
Right.
And a stretch should be elongated, slowly breathing and relaxed. Stretches are better when people are relaxed while they're stretching. With regards to people who may feel as if they're not able to do this, everybody is able to do this type of class, whether they're seated or standing,
Okay.
because there's not any negative pressure against the body.
Okay.
They're just moving constantly and relaxing.
Okay. Awesome.
Does
So
that answer?
it does answer my question 100%. So I guess my last question for you is, if this was someone's very first time experiencing this class with you, is there anything specific or special you would want them to know?
I would like them to know that they're capable of making themselves feel better, and that they are capable of doing anything that they feel they can do. They should not stop themselves because they think that they're not as graceful as the person next to them. The whole point of the class is to help people feel better and to help people who have problems with balance, posture, and flexibility. Those are the main things within the class that people are going to walk away with. Over the years, what I have received back from people with regards to what they've gotten out of the class is that their balance has dramatically increased. Their core has gotten stronger and their posture has gotten better. One of the problems that we have when we grow older is that we tend to lean forward and lose that nice posture that we had when we were in our 20s and 30s. And that's how we start to lose our balance and fall and get injured. So this class puts a lot of effort into teaching people from the foundation of their feet all the way up to the top of their shoulders, how to place their body on a regular basis to keep themselves safe from injury. Some of the class is done standing and some of the class is done seated. So we do use both elements of standing and sitting to achieve our goal.
Can you hold on to a chair while you're standing up?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So just so the community is reminded, Leslie's Mindful Movement class happens every Monday at 11 a.m. And you can join us any Monday here at the Cal to see what class is like with Leslie. Leslie, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm still floored by all of your experience and the things you've done in the past, but I only get to know a little bit of everyone, but I've always said you are amazing, and you truly are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Hello, and today I have Debbie Rafferty joining me to discuss Zumba Gold. Welcome, Debbie.
Hello.
I'm really glad to have you. Today I thought we could discuss your background in fitness and your Zumba Gold class on Friday mornings. So my first question for you, and you can abbreviate it, is how did you become a Zumba Gold fitness instructor?
Okay, this is a good one because I was already pretty much an active person. I played a lot of sports in high school, in college, I coached. I actually started my Zumba career because I had a bad back. My back was really, really bad, to the point where I was at teaching. You might not know this. When I was teaching, there were times when I had to hold the wall to walk. Okay, so long story short, saw different people and they said, walk, swim, do this and this. So yeah, I became a crazy 10-mile-a-day power walker and did this and that. And one day I always had a love for music. I was almost a music major in college and I switched majors. I took a Zumba class, fell absolutely in love with the Zumba class, and started to notice that my body felt better. True story. My back started to feel better. I started then taking Zumba classes 5 and 6 days a week. Then I was feeling so much better and I liked music so much and I liked being active. I decided that I wanted to teach Zumba. So thus there I went off and got all my licenses to teach Zumba. And then I decided that I wanted to teach Zumba Gold. So I went and got that license. And then I decided I wanted to do other forms and I got licenses in Zumba Gold toning and in Zumba toning and in Aqua Zumba and all these other things. But I really believed in the Zumba Gold. Being a person now, when I started this career, I was 58. Zumba Gold, if you don't mind me saying this, Zumba Gold is designed for your active older adult, not old, but active older adult. They're saying people in their 50s or older that may need a modification. They may need something not as high impact as a regular Zumba class, and for beginners. So beginners, active older adults, people needing modifications. And I just believe in it because I saw what it did for my body and for my physical needs. So, you know, I'm a diehard now that I think everybody should do it. Again, so that's how I started. And again, I started teaching in 2011. So I'm in my 12th year of teaching.
So you amaze me once again, because I didn't know all those pieces about the Zumba Gold. So I just love it. I didn't even know your background or your history. So I know some of it, but wow, that's what I have to say is wow. So my second question for you today is, if I am brand new to taking your class and it's the first, and I'm walking into Zumba Gold, can you describe what class is like so I will understand how it's going to go when I come and be part of your class?
Okay, the first thing I would say to you is, once again, it is a cardio aerobic class. It's called dance fitness. It's not Fred Astaire dance. It's dance fitness. So it will be a combination of different rhythms.
Okay.
Some pop, some Latin, some African, some jazz, all different variations of it. It used to be years ago primarily Latin. It's changed, but you will have probably maybe about 15 songs that will be choreographed. So that's the one thing, they are choreographed. There are patterns to follow, but I would basically say to everybody, once again, You do not have to do everything I'm doing. You can try to follow me. You don't have to. You can just come in. You can move your feet. You can step, touch, just move, just smile, go with the music, go with the flow. You don't want to do anything, you don't have to do it. I always will say to people, you know your body best. So anything that you don't feel comfortable doing, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, it's as simple as that. Try, and there are some people that will look at some of the people in my room that are not doing what I'm doing, and they're like, I'm going to follow her because she's doing her own thing and hers looks easier. Then nobody cares. I'm not watching people. You're not being judged. You're there to have fun. You're there to exercise. You're there to try to be a little healthier. Again, I would say it's important to dress appropriately.
Right.
You know, if you get cold easily, have layers. If you get hot easily, don't come in with just a sweatshirt on and long sweatpants. You might get hot. So, I mean, it's just, I
Good.
think that's probably with the gold people is my biggest issue, because everybody has a different thermostat.
Right.
And that seems to be a common issue with people. It's too hot, it's too cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. I mean, some people sweat, some people don't.
True.
So
True.
know your body and do what feels good for you. Just don't be scared. Don't be scared. And like, I don't mind telling people how old I am. I'm over 70. So it's not like I'm a 20-year-old in there going crazy with, people will say Zumba's all crazy jumping up and down. That's not what you're going to get. You know, it's movement.
Gotcha. What kind of sneakers or shoes on your feet?
I would say sneakers are the best bet. And I do have people, like I was one of these people when I first started taking Zumba classes, that I did buy dance shoes. I would
Okay.
say right now, some places, again, it depends on where I'm teaching. Some places don't have wood floors that were meant as a dance studio.
Right.
You don't want to be slipping.
Okay.
So that's why I would say kind of a general sneaker is good, something that doesn't have a big grip, so you're going to stick to the floor.
Okay.
But something that's not so flat, you're going to slide.
Okay. Okay.
That is, but you don't have to go out and buy a special sneaker. A lady came to
Okay.
class this morning that did not have sneakers on. She had on a flat. So, and you know your body best.
Right.
But
Very true.
it is an exercise class, so I will stress that.
And are you moving quickly? Like, it's still Zumba,
It's still Zumba. In if anybody's familiar with the bell curve, I'm going back to my educational background here. Some people think of the fitness class as being all a bell curve, where you start slow, you peak and you go down. Zumba was designed not to be a bell curve. It's up and down.
Okay.
So I have a slow song. We might go up and do a faster one, slow. Again, like today's class, I did a song where we did a little pony. I think that's what it's called. And I said to some people, step, touch, or just stand, just move.
Right.
So I wouldn't be afraid of it. You know me well, Beth. Sometimes I get excited and I might get a little peppy. And I'll say to people, I don't expect you to do with this. I'm exaggerating my moves so you can
Right.
see them.
Right.
It's your,
Okay.
I always say to people, it's your workout. This is low, this is higher, whatever you want to do, your workout.
Very true.
See,
Should people bring water with them?
always. I mean,
Always? Okay.
always bring water. I know most places I teach have places where you can get water, but it's a lot easier if you have your water right near you. I will notice people, and I remember this from years of coaching high school tennis. Sometimes you have to remind people to get a drink of water. They don't want to. They're
Yep.
afraid. But by the time you're thirsty, you're already down. You already
Got it.
you got it. So know your body. Know your body.
Is there anything else aside from what you've said that you would want someone to know if it was their very first Zumba class with you?
I just want people to know that they're not being judged, and I'm not watching them, and nobody else in the room is watching them really
Right.
either. You know, it's your workout. So I wouldn't be afraid, don't think people say, oh, I
Okay.
have to eat, nobody is, they're all there just for themselves. It's not that type of a thing that you have
Okay.
to be like in a dance studio where everybody should be on the same step. It's not like that.
Okay, well, good to know. So you've just heard from Debbie Rafferty, who is our Zumba Gold instructor. She holds class every Friday morning at 9 a.m. and they dance their booties off. So thank you, Debbie, for joining me today. It has been wonderful. And as always, I love seeing you, and come give Debbie's class a try.
Thanks,
Thank
Beth.
you.
Thank you.